Not just the Mercy Watchers, but everybody. Hi everybody. Today we have the great privilege of speaking with Bishop Daly. He is the Bishop of Spokane in Washington, and he's here with us at the Duc In Altum Summit, a network of Catholic high schools. Hello, Bishop.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So let's just start off by sharing with people a little bit about your story and your connection to education, because I understand it's considerable.
Yes, myself, I grew up in San Francisco, went to Catholic schools, grammar school and high school. Had the Daughters of Charity, the Christian Brothers. Went to the University of San Francisco, a Jesuit university, before I entered the seminary. I went to St. Patrick's Seminary, Sulpicians, another order, and I was ordained and assigned to Our Lady Loretto in Nevada, which is the furthest tip of Marin County and the Archdiocese, across the Golden Gate Bridge. There I was very much involved in the school. My first pastor, Monsignor Jim Keene himself, had been involved in schools. The school was very important in those very early years of my priesthood. Then I was assigned by the Archbishop to Marin Catholic as a teacher. He asked me to go on for graduate school, which I did, and Boston College, came back. And eventually, after teaching and doing a number of activities, including campus ministry, chair of the theology department, senior moderator, I became president, and I served as president for 8 years. I then was ordained auxiliary bishop, and eventually became the bishop 8 years ago in Spokane, Washington, Eastern Washington. Right. I made schools a priority, working with a great superintendent, Katie Rickers, who continues to be superintendent. Made sure priests were the ones who supported schools. And then I was elected to be chair of the Bishop's Committee on Catholic Education. I'm in my second to my third year, and we'll be entering the third year after the end of the November meeting. Wow.
Well, so thank you for all of that service and connection with our education system, right? So it sounds like we're in good hands with you at the head of that committee. Tell me about that special gift that Catholic education is to our church and to the wider world.
Number one, I think the Catholic schools in the United States, when I was appointed bishop, and we went to the new bishop school in Rome. I met with Cardinal Willett, who was in charge of the Congregation of Bishops at the time. And he said, "You're the education man." And I said, "Well, Your Eminence, I taught high school." He said, "No, the Holy Father, at the time Pope Benedict, knows that the Catholic schools in the United States are unique, and we need to have bishops who understand them." So I think that was a recognition on the universal church level that the Catholic schools in the United States are unlike most throughout the world, in that they were not founded for the elite. They weren't catechetical schools. They were to form well-rounded Catholic young people for the working class, the middle class, and the upper class. And we had diocesan models, parish models, those owned by religious orders. So in the United States, the Catholic schools have this privileged position. Unfortunately, beginning in the late 60s, when the sisters left, or the brothers or priests, the cost of education, the confusion that happened, the kind of the secular models, all of that in many ways caused, I think, some confusion. But schools, when they are done right, you can't replace them, because the opportunity to help young people grow in grace and wisdom, to assist parents in this endeavor, to do so more than just a brief period of time once a week, as we often have in religious education, I think can accomplish great things. With the challenges we face today, we're now knowing that it can't be business as usual. We have to be more deliberate. As I say, we can be zealous without being zealots. And I think there's a distinction there.
I love that, that distinction, because I think it's an important one. Right. So tell me about Catholic education as a piece of salvation history as we move through the last 2,000 years and now into the third millennium. From the perspective of, for instance, university, the idea was a Catholic creation, right? So Catholics have always sort of pushed the edge of the envelope when it comes to education. Can you give us some examples of where you've seen that, or where do you think we're going?
Sure. I think the model of Catholic education, especially the parish school, was a new parish is established. But before you build the church necessarily, or the rectory, The goal was always build a hall and the school. And I think, and if you had sisters at the time, the convent. So that showed the priorities were for the children and their families. The church always saw education as being as crucial in the works of Jesus Christ as outreach to the poor or healing and healthcare. And worship, of course, central prayer, the church, the Mass. So there is a history, unlike any other really religious denominations. Where it's going today, of course, I think as we see so much craziness and chaos in society and a lack of respect for truth, the church's schools become even more valuable and essential. And we have to be courageous about this, knowing that this is a work of the Lord. It's a response to those words of Jesus, what you've done for the least ones, you've done for me, and do not let the children come to me and do not hinder them. He's given us this mandate. And just because it is more challenging today does not mean it is less important. In fact, I believe, again, because of the times we're in, Catholic education that is solid and faithful and helps our young people not just to know about Jesus, but to know Jesus, we cannot replace them.
Amen. I think that's terrific. Well, I want to thank you for visiting with us today and for your great speech last night and for your witness and service. This is just a tremendous gift to our church and to the world. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bishop.
Thank you for your time.
Right.
God bless.
And God bless you. Thank you for joining us today.